Hi there. Today we're going to be building an e-bike battery like this one. This is a 36 volt, 18 amp hour, just for example. Today we're going to be building a 52 volt, 14 cell, 20 amp hour battery. Using the Ebike 21700 cells. These are 5,000 milliamps each. So I'll have 4 in each cell and gluing 14 of them together. So let's get started, show you how it goes. Okay, so getting started here. Got my gloves. I always try to wear some gloves. Keep the oils off the batteries, especially when you're gluing them together. It helps to get the hot glue to stick. Now I've built these batteries all different ways. I've used the plastic holders that separate them, keep the space. These ones, I just hot glue. I keep a little air gap. I find for my batteries, just gluing them together has been working really well. Haven't had any problems with them breaking apart or anything after riding. A lot of these batteries, I mean, the last one I built, I got about 1.5 years out of it. It's still going strong. So, I mean, so as long as you wrap it and you keep the protective layers in there, you can keep them pretty safe. But now for gluing these things together, what I did is I take 5 right off the bat. Hold a little spacer in there, right? Put a little glue right on each one, hold them against something I built here that keeps them straight. This keeps a little gap until the glue hardens up, right? You can see the space through them. Actually, that one just came apart. This is only my template, so I'll put a little more glue on that. Let me do that now. I'll let that cool for a second. I only had a little bit on these, just holding them. This is really, I'll show you. This is just the template to hold the spacing, to glue the actual cells. Okay, I flip this over. All right, I keep the clean side up. So now, I got a whole package. I already tested all the voltage. These are all set. They were like 3.3, right where they're sitting at holding. All of them were dead even. Generally, when you're gluing these things together, you want to check your voltages. Make sure you don't want to put like one charged cell in the same cell with the other one when you start connecting together, or one's going to kind of bleed right through the other. Could cause it to heat up, could cause it to melt, burn up. You never know. Just be careful. You got to keep them, like I said, your best bet is charge them fully even, then you know they're all the same. Test the voltage, make sure they're all within 0.05 to 0.1 volt between them. All right, so now this is set up. We're going to take 4 cells. I lay them right on. See, now this is going to hold the spacing for them. I'm right up against a flat edge. This glue gun has to heat up a little bit more. This was the spacer I used. I think I showed in the first step, right? Once you do that first template, you won't need them anymore. See, this is just sitting on top, right? Should be cool enough. Leave it cool for a couple seconds, right? Then I just flip them over. Nice flat surface. All right, let's see. I generally only hit the tops and bottoms. I used to do all the way down, but I like to keep a little air space in there, keep a little gap. See that in there? Cool, slide them to the side. Now I'm making 14 of these. This is going to be a 52 volt battery. That's pretty much the first step, gluing everything. Now it's going to be the next part of the video. It's going to be laying them out, how you do it. I mean, I'm going to do the traditional straight jumping cells like that, but here's where I'm going to have to start getting the welder out to tack down the nickel strips as I go. I find it's easier for gluing them. So let me get set up for that, and we will be right back. Okay, so in this step here, I already cut some of the nickel strips I'm using. This is the type of nickel strip I use. I use the one that's set up for parallel cells there. This is bought on Amazon. I can, at the end, try to attach a link for what I'm ordering for this stuff, but this has worked the best. I've had the normal straight pieces of stripping like this. These, you know, they got all different kinds. You can get some if you're building like where you have to double them up. If you can't make a long narrow battery, you want to make it wider. You could put two positive cells, you know, two cells like this. You would have a double with the next layer going over. That's where you could order triple, double, all different kinds. This is from a battery I built in the past. But this here, this is the first style I use, one of the first battery packs I ever built, but I just didn't, I mean, it's good stripping, just couldn't get it to bite as good as this nickel strip here. And that's the last thing you want. You don't want to build a battery pack and then have the welds popping off when you're riding, because that's when you start losing cells and your battery starts malfunctioning and won't charge right, or it discharges from one. Like if you lose contact on one cell out of that, one battery out of this cell, that one will die down faster, because it would technically, if it's not making contact there, you're running from 3 where every other one's running from 4. It dies quicker, make your bike shut down. So here's what I did already. So I need 15 strips cut for this battery pack, because this is a 14 cell battery pack, right? Let me flip this. I just have these laying out to see them. So basically everyone's going to get a strip. It doesn't matter which way you start, if you start from the other end, but it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's a 14S battery. So that's the bottom. So if I start here, this is going to be the other end on this battery pack. You're going to have your positive and your negative, right? And it's basically a series circuit to get your voltage, right? So when I'm all done, see, this is positive, this is negative, positive, negative, all the way down. It's basically, you can watch it as a path like that. When the current's flowing through the battery, it's traveling through just like that, ending here. So what I always do, I cut, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12. I need one more for 15, because I need 15 strips. Basically, I hang one over at the ends. That gives me a spot later on in the video. You'll see when we wire the leads to it. I like soldering over that and then folding around, wrapping in the battery pack, rather than putting the heat right here, because this part of the battery, you don't want to overheat around that positive cell on the top, because underneath here is the negative case. So it'll short right out. And the last thing you want to do when you're doing this is short that out. So I need one more of these strips cut. I just use a long pair of shears. Cuts really easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. I leave it a little long on one end. And right about there. All right, so now I'm done with this. Done with these. I think I said already, gloves. I'm going to pause the video in this step. When I come back, I'm going to start gluing these together and spot welding these right onto the batteries as I go. So I'm going to go get my glasses on, get ready for that. Okay, in this step here, here's where we're going to start hot gluing first, each cell to the next. So basically I just do right across the middle, just quick strip, right in, right up against it, and I just push it just until they make contact. Everything looks nice and straight. So this is why I built this, so I have a nice little backdrop on it, holds them straight up and down. That way you don't start gluing them on angles, things like that. So now, I used to glue the whole pack across, but then you'd have to try to get, when you're spot welding these on here, it's hard to get this. See the reach on normal machines, they might make ones that, get a little further reach out, but this is just the Sunco 709A I bought on Amazon. This one, it does come with a pen you can plug in here and gives you a foot pedal, but I find it just, you can get the weld out of it, but it doesn't work as good. So here, let's get started here. So this one here, it's glued together now, all right? So, oh, hold on. I gotta get some alcohol to clean the top. Okay, so here, I just have some rubbing alcohol on a rag. Just lightly wipe the top, right? That's it. Gets the oil off. These, as long as you keep these things clean, they come out clean. I generally don't have to wipe them down. If I wasn't wearing gloves and got oils for my finger on there, I would probably start cleaning it. Now, I cut these longer. So here's how we're gonna lay them out. Hold it right on there. Actually, you know what? I wanna cut this tab off here. Or actually this one here. Let me do that real quick. Yeah, so when I make these, I leave a little extra tab here coming off. This is the positive terminal. This way, later in the video, you'll see when we're doing the BMS board, this is where I can fold it up a little bit, solder the lead on there, and then push it back down. That way I can do it away from the top of the battery. If I don't have that and you're doing, I mean, technically you could, say the strip was here on the battery, you could do it here, but then you put the heat on the battery. Sometimes it'll melt through there, and then later on, that'll be the first thing to short out. So let me show you how to tack weld one of these. I line everything up from the middle. Right there. You want to get majority on the center there. These don't have to line up. This is only pretty much, if you think about this, carrying the current, it's dividing across all four. So basically, just having the 4 strips is all I need. The 4 strips will work either. But I slide it right about, get it centered right in the battery. That looks good right about there. And then I just pinched on there. Now I'm gonna tack weld from the center out. So let's see. This right now is set power level 7, and I have it set at 12 pulses. So that's going to be a 12 pulse each time. Here's where you wear glasses. You'll see a little spark sometimes. Okay, check it. Now see that? It's getting a little dark. I could probably turn the pulse rate down. Let's just try 8. Back it off a little bit. All you need, I usually do the middle, and you can pull on it. You'll know if it's biting right away. Sometimes if it doesn't take on the first one, you know you have to turn your current up. It's a good gauge to know you're set right. Just want to try to stay right on the center post. All right, so here's the next part of our video. It's going to be wiring up the battery, installing the BMS, wiring the BMS, the 14 lead connection to the BMS. I did some prep already. I cut my rubber pad I put underneath the BMS, which I'll show you how to attach it. I also made some rubber protective layers for the top and bottom of the battery, which I'll be putting them on first. I got a plastic case. This goes around the sides. This protects it when it's in the shell. You'll see as I put them on. And some little strips of insulation layer. It's the like foam, just to protect it. Bumping. It gives it some cushion when you have the wires in there. Protect them. And then the BMS board. This is a 50 amp, 14 cell BMS board. Now I already attached some leads to it to save some time in the video. Pretty much I got my power lead. I put a charger lead. This BMS is a common port. So this basically has one lead going to the negative of the battery. The other terminal on the BMS board is right here. This is the negative going out, and it's also the negative coming in for the charge. So it's usually labeled P. I put a C there because it's power and charging, battery negative. So basically, this will be the finished XT60N. This is the charging port right here. So now that I have some of this prepped, I can start putting some layers on here. A couple times in the video, I will be speeding it up. Once I get starting to attach wires, I'll speed it up through the process so you can just see it. Just try to explain a little bit where they're landing. All right, so there's that. All right, and since I was done the first part of gluing these together, in the first part of the video, see me attaching and spot welding all the tabs on, I pretty much just take a couple layers of clear packing tape first, and this is actually just a real heavy duty black duct tape I take around the battery. Just gives a little more underneath strength holding it this way. So if the battery ever does take a bump, gives it a little strength underneath. It's also what the white layers are for. Gives it strength and protects the sides of the battery. Try to make it so if you are hitting bumps and you don't have it secured or it's bouncing around your bag, you're not loosening up all the cells, because then you put stress on all the nickel tabs going in between. So here, I already marked out. Here's where I'm placing the BMS board. It's going to sit roughly. Got to be careful now because all these terminals are exposed. It's going to roughly sit about here. I place it wherever works for me. I use this in the triangle style bags, so the battery has to stand this way in the bag because of the width of the bag and the frame. So basically, I'm going to lay out this here. This gives me my lead that'll attach there. These ones are going out to the battery. The positives are real long because they come past all the way to the other end of the battery. And then I kind of look at everything when I'm laying it out. You know, where all these leads, the easiest way to get them in, things like that. Usually the BMS boards I was using were 30 amp for most of the batteries. This battery, I'm going to be running a dual motor, dual controller. So I got a 50 amp BMS board. You can see the size of it is almost the same. Usually they're a little bit smaller, 30 amp. Gives me room to attach it here and a little channel to hide the wires right along the outsides of it. Try to keep the wire somewhere safe so they're not getting damaged if it is getting bumped around, things like that. All right, so these next couple steps, you'll see I'll be just using a little bit of hot glue just for my rubber layers. These just give it, I just like putting a little cushion between the BMS board and the battery cells. So I'll glue that down just to roughly hold that from moving. And then I'll put just a little bit of glue on the rubber protective layers on the top and bottom. All right, so let me get my glasses. Already heated everything up. My hot glue gun's hot. Soldering iron's hot. And I try to keep this clean here too, because little chunks of solder, you start getting, you know, carried away in your work here, and you move this battery over and it lays on like even a piece of solder, it will short out across all these terminals. So try to keep in mind where all your metal stuff is. All right, so actually I'm going to do this here first. So this is the rubber for the BMS, but I already put marks where I wanted to put it. So I'll lay it out. I'm going to fold up half. I just put 2 strips, nothing much. Use a flat surface to push it down. Fix my tabs a little bit. These are where I'm going to be soldering the leads to. All right, so I marked this where this is going to be with the BMS board. I put a negative here, 14 here, just so I could place it. And what I do is I pre-trim the leads. So what I do is I got room in this area that I can hide some excess and some nice loops around. So I take, you're starting negative, that's the black. You're counting up from there. So from the negative, the first positive would be 1, second positive would be 2. It's going up from there, right? This is the first battery in line, right? Starting at negative, going backwards, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14 cells. So what I do is I kind of have where it's going to go. I held a nice little area that I can get to the furthest one and the closest one. See, so by the time it's all done, you'll see I made this whole group here the same length because they got to run back along the BMS to attach these tabs I had hanging off. So you can see the full set. I'll try to hold it like this. The full set, that would be at the negative, and then as I work back, you can see the slack, right? There's a nice little loop all the way to 8. These are the first 8 leads. And then it'll actually fan out kind of nice, laying flat. When we're done, you'll see I'll have a piece of foam protecting, gives a little cushion for all the wires to lay so they don't smash into each other. Now these are the last 6 here, right? So what I figured is this will be a smaller loop, and it'll be going from, yeah, the first set I had was up to here. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, here's the last 6. So I can attach anywhere, and then the last 2, I'll just do a little like S curve right into there. Try to keep them all the same, but sometimes you have to just change it up a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to I find it easier. You could solder them without doing it, but I re-strip these, twist them together. They're small leads, but they are stranded conductors. Let me move this out of my way. So basically, I'm just going to tin the end. It'll make soldering a little easier. All right, keep them up. All right, so flip it. Basically, when we're all done, these will, all the slack, I'll get it flat. I'll cover that with foam. This way, they are all, hold on, they're all coming the same direction. These ones are going that way, yeah. That way it's all kind of spread out through. That's how I've been doing them. All right, so now we're gonna get the BMS on there. All right, so this, we're gonna glue down. I'm gonna keep it right about there. Just enough for that wire. Okay. All right, so that just holds it for me while I'm working on it. All right, so we got that. So I'm going to first connect the battery negative. That's going to go right here. This is my negative. That's why I leave this long for soldering. So all right. I think I'm going to take a break for tonight. So pretty much everything's soldered now. All I'm going to do is finish dressing up the wires, putting the thermal overload in there. This is what monitors the temperature of the battery. That I'll tuck. Actually, I could tuck that in there right now. That I just tuck right into one of the grooves where the batteries are. That's it. That's in there. Yeah, so tomorrow it'll really just be dressing up the wires, putting the insulation on top, wrapping it up, and then putting heat shrink on the outside. All right, continue on tomorrow. Okay, right there. Okay, I can reattach the leads. All right, so BMS is reattached. So now I'll just dress these wires up again. Okay. All right, let that cool a minute. Okay, that's all cooled down now. I'm going to put one band of tape around this just to hold these right here for when I'm about to wrap it. Okay. Now we're going to put the protective layer underneath it once again, because this is going to be the bottom of my battery. Lay this on, give it a little bit of cushion. Already have it cut the length. Plastic shell, which I notched for where the tabs were on both sides. This will slide right over. I'll put a little tape on that. Same thing on this side. Couple at the bottom. Okay, all right. So like I said, if I was making this, it was a flat battery, I would have put the plastic on the bottoms, sides, but this is going in a bag, really sitting on an angle like that. So this just protects it. If it bounces in the bag and it does catch, like on my bike, there's a controller mounted to the bottom of the frame. It's right underneath the bag, which is just a little gap, but in a good enough bump, it'll hit. I don't want it slamming through and banging into the batteries. And it gives it strength too. The plastic, it's rigid, keeps it locked as one. I mean, I had one of these fall off a bike going about 20 miles an hour, land on the corner, and the battery survived. I mean, it bounced and rolled down the road. But so let's get this thing. I'm just going to put one thin layer of this on, kind of holds everything together, and that's going to be it for now. Once I get it to grab. Helps hold everything, you know. It stretches real nice. All right. All right, that's gonna be it for now. I'm gonna put it back on the charger. Make sure it gets to a full charge before I do the final step of putting the 2 layers and the 1 long shrink wrap over top. Okay, we're back. Now this is the final step of building the battery. We're gonna wrap it. Everything's already tested. Took it for a road test, made sure everything was good, fully charged. After my test, I rode it for a good 20 miles, running hard with a dual 500 watt bike, so I was really putting some load on it too, and held up great. It was about 50% when I got back, so I just gave it a full charge. Everything's fine. So now I'm going to shrink wrap it. So basically what I do is I take 2 pieces, I wrap the end. I already put 1 on here to save a little time. So it's basically 1 piece. It's not heated up and shrunk. It's just covering the end. So when I slide it over, when it wraps around, it'll fill that void that's in the middle here. You know what I'm saying? In the end. So let's cover up this end here. So what I did, I took a little notch where the wire comes out in this piece. Okay. Fold it over. Just try to get it as even as I can so it doesn't show through the next layer. Some of the excess will shrink when I'm shrinking it up. Like that right there. Make that nice and tight around my heat shrink coming out. Just fixing up corners, that's all. Okay, that's it. The last thing I'll do is I'll attach a label with the voltage, the amperage, the charging rate, and all right on top here. And then this is how it's going to sit in my bag. This will be the top. I'll tuck it right down to my battery and bring the wires right back around. That's it. Finished product. All right. I sell these things online too, so I will attach a link if you're interested in buying 52 volt 20 amp hour battery. I build other ones too, but I will attach a link for the battery. So if you're interested, hit me up. And if not, please, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.